The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. Can I please check that you can all hear me okay? Please could you type yes in the Q&A box, and then I'll know that everyone can hear me. Great. Thank you, Roop. You're the first one to say yes, so I presume that if you can hear me, everybody else can. That's great. Lovely. My name is Janet Barker, and I'm sure many of you will have noticed my name at the bottom of my many emails that I send you. I am the Open University Business School Alumni Careers Coordinator, and I just wanted to do a few housekeeping points today. If you are finding that the information box is obscuring the presentation slides, please look to the top left of the box and click the small orange button with an arrow to minimize it. If you can always click this again to open it when you want to add your questions. As many of you know about the exciting partnership between the Open University Business School, OUBS, and the Chartered Management Institute, CMI, we are delighted to be able to have this opportunity and chance to share the details of the CMI membership with you on this webinar. Sheena Daly, CMI Relationship Manager, will lead us through this session, and there will be a chance at the end of the presentation to ask questions. Sheena has recently joined CMI, and we are delighted to be working with her to deliver this membership opportunity to our alumni. If you have any questions during the webinar, please type them into the Q&A panel, and I will pass the questions to Sheena at the end of the session. Please don't type questions in the chat panel because we won't be checking that today and we might miss your questions. If there are any questions Sheena and I cannot answer today, we will investigate and get back to you via email, so please bear with us. There's a great deal of compatibility between OUBS and CMI. We both share the philosophy of lifelong learning and continuing career and personal development. By joining in partnership with the CMI, the already large OUBS network is widened, and CMI have recognised the rigour and quality of OUBS study, and there are various routes to gaining Chartered Manager status using your OUBS qualification. The Open University Business School is committed to providing lifelong learning and development for its students and alumni. And here in the alumni team, we are always looking for new ways to engage with our community. Now that the housekeeping is out of the way, I'm going to hand you over to Sheena, who will introduce herself and tell us more about becoming a chartered manager. So over to you, Sheena.
Okay, thanks very much, Janet. Thanks for the kind invitation and to speak to your alumni. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this webinar. My name is Sheena Daly, as you've heard. I joined CMI in January this year, and I work in the higher education unit. Now, that means that I have particular universities that I build partnerships with, and I'm very pleased to be working with the OUBS. Now, it's important that you understand it's not just working with the great team that works with Janet or with the business school academic staff. It actually means you as well. So if you have any questions related to CMI as an alumni to OUBS or as a present student, please do get in touch with me. My details will be at the end of this presentation. So I just want to spend a few minutes, maybe 20 minutes or so, detailing the CMI membership benefits that are available to you, and also the Chartered Manager, what it is, what it can do for you, and also how it can help the company or your own business in the future. A quick overview of what I'll be talking about. I'll give a very brief overview about CMI, about the benefits of the membership, and also a few details of the Chartered Manager, and importantly, exactly what the offer is that our partnership with OUBS can offer to you as well. So CMI's vision is very broad and feels very generic. It's to have better led and managed organizations. Very generic, however, very important. Our mission is to increase the number and standard of professionally qualified managers and leaders. We have the unique standard of the chartered manager. We've been established for about 66 years now. In other forms, we became the Chartered Management Institute a couple of decades ago. We presently have a wonderful 150,000 members, of which about 30,000 are students. Now, those students are at university or lifelong learners, as the OUBS believe, and we believe in as well. We work with education providers as well, such as further education colleges and training colleges. We have partnerships with about 500 of those providers. And we have partnerships with 90 universities at the moment. Now, they are mainly in the UK, but actually we are moving out into international depth and development, which I'll come back to in a minute. Very, very proud to confirm that only 6 weeks ago, we became the 68th best not-for-profit company to work for. Now, that's not bad for our first go. Very proud of what we do at CMI, that we're professional with our partners, but professional internally as well. And we really want our work to shine and to be more than just a professional body, but to also be a social enterprise that people want to work with and work for. We're also investors in people's gold standard, so we need to move into platinum, but we're very glad to be gold at the moment. For the international dimension, CMI is growing globally through our partnerships. We have recently developed partnerships in places such as Malaysia. We're looking to Dubai and Singapore as well, and that's a strategic development that we are going for. So Southeast Asia, but we also have quite a few relationships in Europe. We have partnerships in Germany, in Switzerland, and in France, Greece. I mean, these are the places I know of in my recent weeks at CMI. So we really do have reach across the nations. We also do accreditation for our international partners. One of those partnerships is for the Australian Institute for Management, and they work with us and we also accredit their management status as well. We have local membership networks, and that's really important point for yourselves as well if you become members, because it's not a professional body that simply wants to have monthly extracts from your wage in one way and simply just keep you chartered or part of a membership. We actually want you to grow with us. As Janet said, we believe in lifelong learning, and our local networks have events that help you grow as a manager, as a leader. They put you in touch with leaders within your region. We have 12 regional boards across the UK that if you become a member, we'd be very willing to have you at those events, and maybe even become a regional board member in time. We're very proud to have chartered as part of our title because we know it resonates globally, and we know that people understand that it means more than simply being an organization, but that we strive to have excellence and professional development and membership and support in everything that we do. Because we also want to remain global, we have very strong online support for you as potential members. Our unique approach is that we have more than just professional body status. We actually want you to learn and be with CMI in your lifelong journey of education and in occupation as well. So if you're a student learning, we will support you with our executive education accreditation. We do higher education, that's institutions such as universities. We work with them for accreditation. We international partnerships. You may have heard a lot about the apprenticeships in the news recently. There are a lot of businesses that will now be paying 0.5% levy. We are working with those employers and actually helping them understand how to use their levy wisely and how CMI can help them. We actually are one of the trailblazers for four of the standards that have come out for the apprenticeships, and we actually develop learning resources for those companies as well. At the core, we have a Management Direct, which is our online portal. I will actually come back to that because that's a very important piece of our membership offer. And then, of course, we have membership. If you are academic staff, we want you to know that we have accreditation levels 2 to 8. If you're a student, we want you to know that we have accreditation levels 2 to 8. I guess you could say that level 2 is a little below the 16 the GCSE or 16 exit exams, and then level 8 is really at the doctorate level. So we have accreditation and status for all levels of learning. We also do staff development. There are lots of small and large businesses that actually want CMI to come in and say, will you help us and show us how to accredit and raise the level of our leadership and management, strategic levels of management with our staff. That is something that we also support. It's all embedded within very deep and wide research. We work with employers and other research institutes to develop papers for the government. We have had the government actually ask us to do some research on their behalf on management, and we also work with other research institutes, and that content actually becomes part of your membership through Management Direct. But again, I'll come back to that. So we really want you, if you become a member, to have the latest and highest quality management and leadership tools and research at your fingertips. So one of the great benefits of being a CMI member is this online portal called Management Direct. I've included a screenshot of the welcome page so you can just get a grasp of what happens. When you join, you see a word cloud, and that's really just to let you know of the members that are online right now, these are the words that they're looking for. So as you can see, change, lead, and leadership are the two words at this particular time slot that people were looking at. And you have over 200 checklists that you can, if you were doing appraisals, to make sure that you have the right format. We have 200 checklists of various topics within leadership and management. We also have videos. Now, they don't tend to be more than 4 minutes long, just to give you snapshots of real life experience of leaders and managers from across the world. We also have interactive e-learning modules that you can use. That they also promote and ask you to do some reflective learning. You've watched it, you've read it. Now, what do you do? What do you do in your workplace in this particular management challenge? We also have a great library of e-journals as well. This includes really high-profile journals such as the Harvard Business Review. In fact, we have the e-version of the Harvard Journal Review, the review since 1922. And that is since inception. So, you know, that's just one of the things that you would have access to as a manager. As a member. You also would receive industry reports. Now, these industry reports are far and wide. You could look for airline industry in Japan, for instance, and you would receive the most up-to-date information drilled down and summarized for you about that particular industry. Now, that's something that you just simply log into the Management Direct and go to the portal for industry reports, and it would find it for you, and you could use it as a PDF and print out, and maybe even use in a case study that maybe you're working on for your workplace or for your study. We also have templates that you can use. For instance, if you wanted a template for a business plan, you could simply download the template we have on the Management Direct portal and use it, and actually save it on there through something called a learning journey. We also have the largest library of management and leadership books in the EU, while we're still in it. So we live in Europe, we have the largest library of management and leadership books. We also have a CPD facility. Now, this is important whether you become a chartered manager, because that will require CPD, or even if you decide not to and be a member and you want somewhere to actually log your CPD because you want to take it into your performance interview or your appraisal, we actually have somewhere that you can store your CPD print it off and present it to your line manager. So these are just a few details around Management Direct. We have 1,200 new pieces of content added in 2015. We have over 14,000 pieces of resources that are available to you 24/7 because it's an online portal. So it's really about how much you want to use it. If it's something to do with leadership and management, I can almost guarantee that Management Direct will be able to provide the information for you. If you, for instance, had asked Management Direct, show me what you can provide right now on the term project management. This is a screenshot. I know that the amount of assets has actually increased since I did this screenshot. But if you asked it for project management, for instance, it would tell you, Sheena, I can do 3 various things for you. I can provide you a 5-minute briefing, which is what you probably want to use, for instance, if you just want a quick reference before you go into a meeting. Or I have 20-minute briefings, which gives you a bit more explanation, a bit more time to absorb. Or you can have the extended briefing. Now, this is when you have probably an hour or so to do some intensive study on your own. Within the 5-minute briefing, it gives you the quick definition of project management, and there are self-assessments. There are also leader videos. So it's saying you have a choice of 5. If you click on that particular camera, it will then come up with the 5 videos that you can choose to watch. And it will also tell you the summary, just to make sure it's the right type of video. And then the 20-minute briefing, you can also have articles, you have web links, you have document templates that you could also use. If you, for instance, had a project that you needed to manage, there are templates that you could simply download. The professional manager articles are from our quarterly magazine called The Professional Manager. Now, it's important to note that the information from Management Direct has actually been verified. There is nothing wrong with Wikipedia or Google or any other search or Quora, but it's important to note that we've had experts verify the information that yes, this is high quality information about leadership and management and can go on this, because we know that people are looking at Management Direct for quality resource. So I just wanted to make that point. The extended briefing is the learning journey is something that you can actually create in Management Direct. From these various assets, when you actually click in, you will have a tick box. If you tick any of those resources, it will create something called a learning journey. That's almost like your own mini course on project management. So this is saying there's actually one that we've done already. There's a learning journey that we have created for you already. Would you like to use it? If you decide not to, you can create your own. There's also one scenario and 15 ebooks from our e-library that we can confirm that have project management either in the title or are about project management. Beyond that, we also have 3 book chapters that it has sourced to say these books aren't necessarily about project management, but they do have chapters about project management. Would you like to look at them? So really, that's the first thing that happens when you come to Management Direct, in that it tells you so much about the resource. You actually have to make choices as to how you want to learn, how much time you have, and the type of resources that suit best your type of learning. Within Management Direct, we have something called the Career Development Center. Now, again, this is a very powerful tool. It will actually build a CV for you, and we have a review service within the Career Development Center where you can submit your CV and ask a consultant, could you tell me if this is appropriate? What are your thoughts on this as someone who was involved in recruitment? Now, this is all within your membership details and your benefits, and they will come back to you. I believe the time charter is actually within 3 working days with a response to your CV. There's also a global search engine that will have every job available through we've actually collated it through various sources. it will tell you every job available that has a dynamic to leadership and management. So it could be a project manager in Munich. You could want to maybe work in Dubai or Singapore or Hertfordshire. It doesn't really matter. The job search engine is actually updated every single hour. There's also an interview simulator. So I don't know about you, but I find interviews quite nerve-wracking, and it's great that managed within the Career Development Centre, there's actually an audio and camera profile where you can practice questions, and you can record it and then it will play back to you. So you see yourself, you hear yourself, and you can improve on your interview techniques. It also has a tool where it pushes you with tough questions. So it will start with, hello, can you tell me a little about yourself? And then it will move you to very tough questions, very challenging questions, so you actually have a chance to practice your responses. We also have something called CMI mentoring, which is something I will actually come back to, but it's really a portal within this portal where you can actually meet someone in a career or industry that you're interested in, and they are willing to mentor you. But let me come back to that. So the CMI mentoring is where we already have mentors who are ready to take on mentees. Now they have things that they are experts in. So they're either experts in strategic change or change management or business development, and they have already volunteered themselves to work with mentees. And simply you submit a request and say, hello, I'm Sheena Daly. I'm interested in being mentored by a CFO because we are doing strategic change in our financing. And then someone comes back to you and says, I'm available, I can work with you. Now, it's very important to say that CMI do not police the actual mentoring. We simply provide a portal or platform for you to be introduced. But again, we have verified and interviewed every single mentor that is part of the CMI mentoring and can confirm that they are the highest professionals in their industry. Again, this is part of your membership. It is free for you once you are a member. You can use it as little or as much as you wish. So you simply register, you log on, you create your profile, then you have the talking bit where the mentor and the mentee are actually speaking. You create the proposal, start the relationship, and then you evaluate, have you as a mentee received enough value out of this? And the mentor also says, have I provided enough value to my mentee? So we have a very interesting stat here that employees who receive mentoring were promoted 5 times more often than people who didn't have mentors. I think that's an astonishing statistic that we really ought to take notice of. And we're really pleased at CMI to have this service for you within the Careers Development Centre. There are further benefits of being a CMI member. I mentioned the Professional Manager magazine. This is provided either paper or as an e-magazine once a quarter to you. And it profiles high achievers in leadership and management, really. So you have their details, and it just provides you with up-to-date information, what's happening. We also have thought leadership and research papers. You remember earlier I had said that everything that we do is embedded in deep research. We actually then provide those papers to our members. So because we are a charity, we're a social enterprise, and we make sure that whatever we invest in research, that the membership benefits from. So some of the research papers that we have done include strategic roles of middle managers, inclusivity and diversity, managing through crisis, goodness, we need that now, national management salary survey as well. These are just a few of the things that we have done with employers and the government and other research bodies. We also have a great network of women in management that CMI are very proud to be sponsors of. And again, we have the regional events and other network events that you would be able to take part of and be invited to as a member. just want to move on now to the chartered manager piece. So the premier status for the professional manager is to become a chartered manager. And again, we're really proud that only CMI can actually award this protected title. We all know and think of what does chartered mean. It means to have the highest level of skill, a recognized excellence or a competence that is recognized as professional. And management is very generic, but we need to make sure that you can demonstrate your knowledge, your experience, your conduct, your CPD as to why you are an excellent manager. Now, we know that there is a problem with management. If, like me, I freely admit that I became a manager and was promoted into manager status because of a technical excellence that I had, not a managerial excellence. And that really causes problems within the workplace, within every type of workplace, large or small. If you had to ask yourself very privately, how effective is your line manager? Unfortunately, quite often, the response is not good. And in fact, we took a quick survey of people. We took a survey of people who were concerned about management. We actually asked them, what do you think of your manager? And unfortunately, nearly half of the UK line managers were considered ineffective. Now, this is a real problem because it causes 56% of the corporate failures that we have registered in the UK. It costs the UK £20 billion each year because of bad management. That's really making bad decisions, not moving quick enough, not seeing opportunities quickly enough, not communicating well to their staff, and therefore projects going wrong or are late or derailed. And unfortunately, the cost of bad management is actually higher in declining organizations. Exactly where you need great management is where it's actually having the worst impact. And it actually doubles the levels of stress for the employee. Surprisingly, from the survey, we found out that it was the #1 reason why people actually leave their workplace. And again, like myself, this is often because managers become managers by accident, not on purpose. They are managers because they are they are technically excellent, but haven't really had enough support in how to move from technical excellence to managerial excellence. I'm a great engineer, but how do I become a great engineer that manages a team? And 90% of managers say that a professional qualification actually improved their performance. And of course, if the manager is improving, then of course the team should be improving and the business improves. In our research, we have found that being a better manager is good for the business, hooray, but it's actually good for you as well, because it improves your confidence. You have better people management, and you also, for the business, provide savings, and you give better feedback, and you have better product development. And we have found that because when you are a better manager, you can provide up to £391,000 more value to your company through being a chartered manager. So the chartered manager status has various routes, and as Janet said earlier, we have actually worked with the OUBS to ensure that there is a route to present students and alumni to becoming a chartered manager. That route is called the qualified manager, the qualified route. Now, this just means that you have to have a degree in management, leadership or business, and 3 years management experience. However, we already know that the MBA that you are studying or have studied brings you to the qualified route. So there are 2 ways to achieve this. There's either written submission, which is a template of, I believe, 4 questions, but don't be fooled by the 4 questions. They are very large and deep questions that you have to answer. or the professional discussion. And this is for those people who really prefer a verbal presentation to actually doing a written submission. You would still need to provide bullet points of your experience, because we need to then go back and verify the information. But that's also a way forward that you could actually provide the evidence that we need to say, is this person a chartered manager? Is it something, a status that we could actually provide to them? The application form on the OUBS, I've taken a screenshot for you. So you can see already that we have a video there of an alumni called Sarah Bradbury. I would encourage you to actually listen to the video as she speaks about how the chartered manager status has increased her confidence, her ability to communicate to her team, and also increased the efficiency of her decision making. So this is what your application would actually look like. The application online. I've included a testimonial from Glenn Daly, who was also an OUBS alumni, and he quotes that the most beneficial aspect of being a chartered manager is that you're a member of a professional body. You're now part of a community that understands excellence in management, and it doesn't matter which discipline you're in, whether you're an engineer, nursing or health and social care, whether you're a surveyor, to actually be part of a professional body that understands the key importance of management and leadership and how it can improve your performance, your chances of promotion, and also the business that you work in. Sarah Bradbury, I have a testimonial from her as well, that she actually chose to become a CMI chartered manager to help her refresh her MBA knowledge, but also have up-to-date access to leadership and management tools and information. So actually improved her work as she was continuing her lifelong journey in education. And that's a really important part about being a chartered manager. It's a status that is not just once. You only become a chartered manager because you have lifelong learning and a commitment to being the best manager and leader possible. And that's really why we're so aligned with the OUBS, because we believe in lifelong learning. So when you become a chartered manager, you will need to provide CPD evidence every single year so that you can keep the status. So I just want to give you the partnership offer. So if you wanted to become a chartered manager and wanted to follow the written submission, now that's where you download the template and answer the 4 or 5 questions, that would be £295. And then if you wanted the professional discussion, then that would be £495 plus VAT. The status really depends on your level of experience. You could become a chartered manager, but you could also become a fellow if you have 10 years or more experience in management. Now, the CMI membership is open for everyone. I need to make that clear, that these are 2 separate things. You can be a student or an alumni, and the membership is still available to you. You do not have to become a chartered manager if you don't wish to. The membership, however, I'm very pleased to say that you have a discount for life, which is a 50% discount. Our membership runs for 12 months, and the membership level is £85, and the fellow, again, if you have 10 years or more experience and we can find and you provide the evidence of such, that would be £100 a year rather than the £200. So really, I hope you got some information there that was valuable to you, and I hope I gave you enough information. Feel free to ask questions. I also have a quick slide of more information where you can find more information. We will be sending out the recording of the audio and the slides to everyone, so if you just want to take note of the links for now and then look at it again at your leisure, that would be fine. But I wanted to stop there, Janet. Thank you very much all for listening, and Janet, I'll hand back over to you to see if there are any more questions for us.
Hello, Sheena. Thank you. That was very informative. I have had a quick question, but I'm not sure. I suspect you, as you're fairly new, you may not be able to answer this one. Francis has said that a lot of your data is dated 2012, 2015, and how often do you update the statistics? I would like to say that I think you also covered off that maybe the surveys may be a little out of date, but certainly any sort of things like reports or articles are very much up to date. Am I right?
Yes, you are. And in fact,
Yeah.
it's a fair point as well, because some of our insights may have been done in 2014, but I'm really pleased to say that right now we are doing the refresher on those surveys and reports, because we recognize that things do change. I think we lived in a very different UK, for instance, in 2014 than we do now. And so some of those surveys, even about management and how we deal with crisis management and other things, are actually being updated right now. If there's something you particularly want, Francis, drop me an email, because I'm in touch with the Insights team, and as they're working on updating things, maybe they just have something that might be of interest to you.
Thank you, Sheena. You did know. Great. Okay. Anita has asked, how long does the process take to complete?
For the Chartered Manager, so it's really up to you. Some people have whizzed through this because they have evidence ready. If you want to do the written submission, I would suggest you have a look at the questions. Minimum, give yourself 10 to 12 hours to complete that. And then anything else, well, that's up to you, because you really do need to provide the evidence in the discussion, the professional discussion, or the written evidence. So I would give yourself at least 12 hours to complete that. However, once you start the Chartered Manager process, you do have 12 months to complete it, but it does stop at 12 months.
Thank you, Sheena. We haven't got any more questions at the moment, but I actually had a quick question, and again, I'm not sure if you'll know this. I was interested to hear about the job search engine,
Yes.
And I wondered where the jobs are drawn from.
They're drawn from about 6 different places, because we wanted to make sure that it was a global search. I'm afraid I can't remember any of the names of the actual resources right now. I will get them to everyone, but they are credible and well known. I just can't remember them at the moment.
Okay, I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
That's absolutely fine. I don't mind, but I can confirm, because I asked the same question. But they are updated every hour as well.
Lovely. Oh, I've had a further update from Anita. She actually meant the CMI verification process once the evidence is submitted.
Oh, I see. So once it's with us, we have a turnaround of about 2 weeks.
That's great. Thank you. Yeah, lovely. I hope that answers your question, Anita. We don't seem to have any more questions coming in, so I'll just give everybody a couple of minutes to think about any questions. While we do, I just want to say thank you very much for that, Sheena. I actually wanted to say that as you talked about the business case template, I myself have used that. I find Management Direct absolutely brilliant. And I used the business case template and actually it worked and my business case was accepted. So
great.
living proof that the system does work very, very well. So, okay, and I can see that we haven't got any more questions today. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, we have. Sorry. Can you use CPD form other than professional bodies and CPD evidence for CMI? That's from Rick. So I'm not too sure about that one, Sheena.
I'm not sure. I would say that we will accept CPD evidence from other places for your Chartered Manager submission, if that's what you mean. However, if you are recording CPD that you have just done, we accept from Management Direct, the Management Direct portal, and we will also allow you to input a simple data line, such as I attended a conference in Zurich, for instance, and it will actually allow you to add that to the timeline. it won't allow you to upload, for instance, a certificate to prove that you were at the conference. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you. Rick, if that's okay, if not, sort of send us an email and we'll sort of try and give you more information.
Okay.
Okay. I can't see any more coming in for the moment, so I think we'll actually finish. And somebody has just, Anita has just said that's really interesting and helpful. Thank you.
Oh, great.
Okay. So I just wanted to say, if you do think of any questions after the event, which we often do, don't we? Yes. Do contact us. You can contact me as well at OUBS-alumni@open.ac.uk. And thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today and giving up your lunchtime, and goodbye.